So if you're watching this video, you're probably not closing as many deals as you'd like, and you're having to rely on follow-ups. And those follow-ups are more than likely ghosting you, or you're feeling like you're just annoying people and pestering them into getting the deal done. So don't despair. I have developed an extremely good follow-up process that doesn't feel pushy, engages people and pushes them down the pipeline so that you can actually close more deals consistently. I did this for 2 years at Easy Grow. I've done this for my own sales as well. Obviously, we want to close on the first call. If you want to watch some of my other videos, I think that's going to be able to help you do that. But if you don't have the skill set you need right now to actually get it done on the call, this follow-up process is going to be extremely effective of pushing people down the pipeline and actually getting the deal done without feeling annoying. So we want to dive into like what is actually the goal of follow-ups, okay? So follow-up is about engagement. It's not just reminders. You're not reminding someone that you're there. They know that you're there. They've had the call with you. We need to engage them through the process to actually get them more interested in buying. And it really works best when you include like pattern interrupts, right? So prospects, people, they're used to emails, they're used to text messages and phone calls. They're just not going to answer because that's what they expect you to do, right? And we really need to be able to track whether the prospect is engaged throughout the follow-up process or just ghosting you, right? Like you don't want to be the guy who's sending 50 text messages and 5 calls over 6 weeks and they just never reply. They're not looking at them, or they are looking at the messages. Like you're never really going to know where you fall unless you get engagement from that prospect throughout the follow-up process. So this is why we use Loom. Okay, Loom is the absolute golden ticket of follow-ups in my opinion, and it works extremely well because A, it's a pattern interrupt. People aren't expecting to get like a video breakdown from you or like a follow-up done in a video form. So immediately you're separating yourself as being a little bit different and providing better information with your follow-ups. It has to be personalized. Generic, like go high level, automation, sequences, they're just not going to work. Like they might work to get 1 in 10 people on a second call, but you need to basically like re-pitch this person from where you left off and completely personalize the way you're doing the follow-up to all of the stuff that you got from the call. All of that information is extremely valuable, right? So we want to be able to reuse that. And the easiest way to do that is just recording Loom videos and sending to the prospects, okay? And then obviously Loom is for engagement tracking. So if you have Loom Premium, which I highly, highly recommend, you can see if they watch the video. You even get a notification when they watch it, and you can see how much they watch of it. So if someone watches 10% of your Loom, you're probably going to struggle to get that person on another call and actually get that deal closed. But if they're watching 50, 60, 70, 80% of that Loom, they're engaged. This person is genuinely thinking about purchasing your service, and you've got a much better chance of getting that deal closed. And then lastly, it's a conversation starter. So, you know, it's always a little bit weird where you're like, hey, just checking in, hope everything's good, is the money there, whatever. If you send a Loom, you have a reason to message them. Did you watch the Loom? If they haven't watched it, like, did you get a chance? Anytime you're going to be able to watch this? Or if they have watched it, what did you think about what I sent over? Do you have any further questions? And it's just not going to feel like you're pestering the person to get a decision out of them, right? Most of the time, if you haven't closed, it's going to end in some sort of think about it, smoke screen objection, or they're just a little bit fearful. They need more time to digest. They probably ask for an email or whatever. And if you go above and beyond and send a personalized Loom and then they watch it, like this is a way better conversation starter than just being like, hey, did you get a chance to think about what we talked about? It's just like, it's just old. It's out of date. And you know, these people get this all day, every day, especially if they're going on more calls, you know, regularly or speaking to other agencies. So we've got a few scenarios here. Okay. First scenario is if you have a call the next day with them. Second, if it's in 2 days. Third scenario, if it's in 3 days or more. And then fourth scenario is if they're shopping around. Okay, so the process is very simple. So day 1, this is the day you had the call. Okay, so you have a sales call. It won't close. What we need to do is ideally get their personal phone number, okay, or their best email, right? Not just the one they put into the Calendly link. You know, a lot of people put burner emails into there. But you want to, at the end of the call, it's like, look, just want to take a step back. I feel like this probably isn't going to get done today, and that's fine. Okay. let's put ourselves in the best position moving forward to hopefully get this done so we can get you to your goal. What's the best email or what's your WhatsApp so we can stay in closer communication and I can get more information to you? Okay. Then really, really important is you want to schedule in that second call on the call. So ideally the next day, right? That's probably the best way to do it. And that's in the scenario that we're talking about. But we also want to get a time scheduled in. If you can't get them to commit to a Zoom, just get them to commit to at least a time frame, okay, a couple of hours where you're going to give them a phone call and have another chat. But using this process, ideally we get them scheduled in for a second call. They're invested enough to do that. Okay, that's a good sign. So you get off the call, okay, then that evening you want to basically do and send a Loom, kind of recapping the call, okay? I'm going to go through all the scenarios and then I'm going to go into actually what that needs to look like. So you send over that Loom. Okay, you've booked in the call for the next day. Let's say it's Wednesday today. I'm speaking to John on Thursday. So I send over the Loom Wednesday night. Okay, then on Thursday morning, what do you get to ask? Did they watch the Loom? Right? So that you want to check, did they watch the Loom? Did you get that notification? How much did they watch? If they did watch the Loom, perfect. Now you've got an in to ask if they have any more questions before the call. Right? Instead of just being like, hey, just confirming our call today, like, is everything all good? It's a little bit salesy. It's not great. Whereas if they watch the Loom, it's like, hey, I saw you watch the Loom. That's awesome. I appreciate you doing that. Do you have any more questions? Blah, 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 blah. If they don't watch the Loom, again, you still have an in. It's like, hey, John, I noticed you didn't get a chance to watch that Loom. Obviously, you mentioned you needed a bit more time and more information to digest. Are you going to have a chance to watch this before our call today? Hopefully, they're going to reply to either of these messages. If they don't, you kind of they might not show up for the call. So let's say, through these processes, they say, yeah, I have some questions. Awesome. Just confirming our call for later today. Great. Take the call. Easy work. Done. Okay. If they haven't watched the Loom, did you watch the Loom? No, I'll get a chance just before our call. Awesome. Cool. So I can confirm we're good to go today. Yes. Take the follow-up. Super simple. Okay. So day of the call, send the recap Loom. Next day, have they watched it? Any questions? Will they watch it? Confirm call, take the call. Super simple. So the second scenario is if the call's not the next day or it's the day after. Process stays the same. So you've had the sales call, doesn't close. Get the best email. Ideally get a phone number. Okay. Schedule in the call. Send a recap Loom that night. So then the day in between the call, same process. Did they watch the Loom? We want to check for that. If they did, hey, I saw you watch the Loom. Do you have any more questions for me before tomorrow? Awesome. We're just looking for engagement here, right? Simple. If they haven't, hey, John, are you going to get a chance today or tomorrow to watch that Loom? Just want to make sure, you get enough time to digest everything and we're on the right, track for our call. Super simple. After this, in this scenario, okay, then it's time to send a case study Loom. So how we do this is in the Loom, hey John, I know you kind of wanted more information and to kind of build a bit more trust about what we do or whatever, okay? So I've broken down all these case studies. Tell it like a story. This is this person, he was in a similar spot to you, he was struggling with this, okay? He had the opportunity to work with us and now he's doing this. Run through case studies specific to their business, ideally, or if you're in a specific niche, case studies that work, that look close to them, in terms of demographic, age or whatever, okay? And then same process. The day of the call now, you can ask, did they watch the case study Loom, right? So you check, see if they've watched it. Did you have any questions about those case studies? Are you going to get a chance to watch it? Confirm the call, take the follow-up. Right? It's super simple process, okay? But again, I'm going to reiterate this a lot. It's just about getting engagement as many times as possible before that call. The more engagement, the more they watch of the Looms, the more likely that it's going to close, okay? So scenario 3 is if the call's 3 or more days, even a week. Same process to start. Day 1, sales call, doesn't close, best email, ideally WhatsApp, schedule in the second call if you can. Send the recap Loom that night. Day 2, did they watch it? We want to check. Ask if they have any questions if they did. If they didn't, are they going to get a chance to watch it? Then day 3 is when you send the case study Loom. More information, etc., etc. Day 4, we want to check if they watched it. Any questions, will they watch it? Same thing, right? And now if it's like more than 4 or 5 days in advance, then we want to send maybe something educational. It might be like a little bit more of a mini pitch, or maybe if you have some content associated with your brand, it's like, hey, I found this cool thing that I wanted to get over to you. I think it might help you in general, whether or not we work together, whatever. Okay, so some type of education, some free value just to keep them engaged, because if you're getting 3, 4, 5 days away, like after your first call to have a second call, urgency, pain, it's all kind of diminishing. Life's getting in the way. They're probably not thinking about it so much. They probably maybe even forgot the conversation. So again, just trying to keep them engaged. Same thing on the next day. Have they watched it? Any questions? Will they watch it? Super simple, right? Now, in terms of follow-ups, okay, so let's say for an example on this day, they haven't watched the Loom, you ask if they watch it, then day 4, they still haven't replied, you might want to send a GIF. Just GIFs are a really good way to, again, pattern interrupt. People might just have a little laugh, be like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is so funny, I'll get to that today. Then maybe you push the educational Loom one day, right? So again, pattern interrupt, engagement. That's all we're looking for, okay? Now, this scenario is a really interesting one. If someone tells you that they're shopping around, selling in the info space, obviously I dealt with this a lot, right? There's a lot of courses out there, a lot of content creators, a lot of people looking for the best deal, the lowest price, etc. Full transparency, like if now this is a whole different thing, and I'll break down this strategy on another video probably, but you want to be the last person that they speak to, right? If you're the first and they've got 2 more calls, the next closer or the next business, agency, whatever, might be worse at their job than you, or not as good a salesperson, but you've done all the heavy lifting, right? So you've got them to think about their problem, you've pitched them a solution, you've got them really close to buying, they get on a call with someone else, their guard is down, they might just impulse buy, right? But you actually did all the work. There's a lot of discussion about, if you should actually just reschedule the call, but I always just go for it. You're on the call with them, you may as well just send it. So let's just say you get off the end of the call and they're like, I'm shopping around. So this is a little bit different, okay? You want to get the email number, same thing. You want to schedule in the second call, right? But you want to find out the time of their other call. So if they have it the next day or in 2 days' time, you want to know exactly what day it is and what time it is. And then you want to schedule your follow-up, ideally, the next day if possible, okay, after their call. Then we send the recap Loom. Same process, right? I pretty much, any time I didn't close a deal, like that I thought was pretty close, I'd always just send it regardless, okay? So do that, recap, did they send that recap Loom? Have they watched it? Do they have any questions, etc., etc.? This is pretty much consistent with every process. Now, let's say on the next day, right, they have the call with the other agency or the other course creator, whatever. This is where you want to play a little bit of mind games. So now you know the day and the time. So just before they take that call, or like a couple of hours before they take the call with the next person, you want to send another Loom. It's like a case study Loom, but it's pretty much like a recap and a case study Loom. You can get a little bit cheeky with it. I'm pretty sure these people aren't going to be as good as us. So I just wanted to send this over to you to make sure that, we're front of mind. And then I also just give a few things. I'm like, just look out for this. If they try and hard close you, or, ask this question, if they can't answer it, maybe it's not the right thing, just to kind of get in their head. Pattern interrupt, get engagement. Okay. Then it's the same thing, right? So the next day they've had the call with the other agency or the other coach. Okay. Did they watch that Loom that we sent them, and did they buy or not? Right? If they didn't buy, you're still in the game. Now you've got your call on this day. You're probably going to close that deal. If they did, it happens. But this is the best way to actually get you top of mind before they take that call. You just want to be like the last person that they think about before making a buying decision. Okay? And the more you can get in their face before they speak to someone else, like just before they have that call, you want to send that Loom over and just pray that they watch it. And they probably will, because they're like in a buying mind. They're in a buying mindset. They're shopping around. They're going to make a decision. We just need to make sure it's with us. Okay? So the Loom script, there's no script. it's just a process, right? So what I like to do is imagine this is the loom, okay? Just imagine this is your pitch deck or whatever, right? So it's like, hey John, look, obviously we had a great conversation today. Okay, you told me that you're struggling with client acquisition and the sales side isn't really working, and that's obviously caused you a lot of frustration. I just wanted to kind of go over our solution again. We do X, Y, and Z, right? Because I know for a fact that if we implement that process and do what we do with every other client, you're going to get to your goal of 50K a month and just have that freedom that you want. The longer the loom, like the more personalized, the better, in my opinion. You don't want to be sending a 30-minute loom, but like a 2-minute loom is not really what we want. We want to put a bit of effort into it, 5 to 10 minutes of like value, recapping. If they had any concerns on the call, dive into them specifically. Just make it feel like you actually care more about any other salesperson that they may ever speak to. That's going to close the deal. Okay? And that's pretty much it, guys. Like if you can follow this process, screenshot it, take it, whatever you need to do, and just like follow the steps, schedule it out into like a second calendar. I like to just open up like a second calendar in my calendar, okay, for follow-ups. And I just duplicate the appointment, and then I put down like what loom I need to send on which day. If I have any like YouTube stuff I want to send them over, just be prepared. The more prepared you can be, the better with follow-ups, because if you're not the most skilled closer, right, you're going to win with activity 100% of the time. If you don't have the skills, but you have like the action and the intention, you're going to win over someone who doesn't do this. Obviously, we want to close on the first call, but not everyone will, right? Some people will genuinely just need to think about it and actually sit with the decision. But we just want to put our best foot forward to make sure that they're thinking about us more than anyone else, okay? And the more personalized, the more engagement, the more that they watch of those looms, the more likely that they will buy on that next call or send you that text that we all want to hear. Hey mate, I've thought about it. Let's just do it. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. I think this is a really, really good way of doing follow-ups. It's like an absolute game changer in my opinion. So yeah, hope that gets you more deals closed. As always, take this for free, make more money. If you do want any more kind of like coaching or anything like that, I've got a link in the description, but this is not a sales pitch. Okay, so all the best. I hope this works for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.